everyone, it's Linda McKenna from Golden Rule Senior Placement Services coming to you today with Tuesday Talks. Today we have decided on the topic being March into the new month with 7 tips for keeping seniors busy and active. I have always said that having a senior be active to a certain degree, may it be with exercise, because if you don't use your limbs or have mobility issues, and that strengthening becomes even more of a situation. But also this also needs to be stimulated on a regular basis. Having somebody just get up during the day and watch TV all day is not stimulating the brain. Unfortunately, it's not something that they really enjoy. It's just an expectation and it's an existence rather than looking forward to an activity, being with others of likeness, but also enjoying the festivity of the activity. And also makes them busy and active, but they're enjoying their time as well. So a couple of the things that I have brought up as 7 tips for keeping seniors busy and active is, one, we have to have consideration that we have to accommodate mobility needs. If your senior loved one does have mobility issues, and sometimes they really feel comfortable at home that they're not using their cane, walker, or wheelchair because they know the dynamics and the landscape of their home. But when they go out and about, they really should be using those assisted devices that were ordered by their clinicians or medical providers, because we want to be proactive and preventative, and it also keeps them stabilized. So make sure you accommodate their mobility needs. And activities outside, we see that very, very often. If you go into a park, there's wheelchair access or flat grounds to walk on. If it's going to an activity, maybe going to a senior center, it's wide open pathways and places that they can be accommodated for their walking ability, but also when they sit down, that it's a safe chair that they're sitting in as well. So we must consider that in a lot of our consideration. And this is when somebody does live in senior living communities. This is something that they make sure that they're using their assisted devices, they're watching over them, that they make sure that they're utilizing them correctly, and they're using them all the time, not just intermittently, because we not say that we want to rely on it, but we want to have a sense of security for them too, so they have a better sense of security and autonomy as well. So make sure, number one, is accommodate their mobility needs as well. And that's even frequent at a restaurant, maybe going into the mall or shopping with your loved one is something that you must consider. 2, explore adult day programs. If they become very, very, just so used to being home and really not doing anything active at all, and maybe not gathering with some neighbors or anything, or maybe it's inclement weather that you can't go out and about, even just sitting on the front porch with a neighbor or all, is explore adult daycare programs. There are a lot of them around in cities or close to you. Some are worship oriented, some are churches or places of worship, some are actually freestanding adult care programs that are centers. So of course they have staff accordingly that make sure that they are safe while they're there. And they have a litany, a real schedule of activities or what's going on as programs. So there's a whole activities day full of things to do. Some of them actually have transportation to and from, which is great as well. And it also considers their mobility issues, as we spoke about. But adult programs sometimes are even at senior living communities that you could stay there for the day, meaning enjoy a breakfast, lunch, being active in their activities, and then be picked up to be brought back home. So for those that you have a senior loved one and you're working, that might be a great advantage to use. But also it's a great entree of them learning about that senior living community. So when it comes time to really saying this is a full-time commitment that we want you to live here as well, they're already used to it. So it's a good testing ground to use those adult day programs. 3, harp on hobbies. I can't say this enough. If it's something that you used to love to do, painting, crocheting, putt-putt golf, woodworking, of course there has got to be some guidance in it, but why are we not doing it? I tell the story all the time of a lovely lady that I had placed in a senior living home, a residential care home, and she was an avid crocheter. And unfortunately, she said that she had no purpose of doing it anymore because she already gave out her gifts. There's no reason not to do it anymore. And I said, oh boy, on the contrary. So we got a couple of the ladies that were at that home as well, that she taught them how to crochet, and they made it a project that they actually started knitting and crocheting gifts for the children in the hospital, as well as lap blankets for some elderly in the nursing home. So using those hobbies were very important. I just placed a lady that did a lot of basket weaving, didn't do it at all anymore at home. She is now in her assisted living community. She's teaching those classes to the rest of the lady residents as well. So don't think a hobby is something that is not enjoyed by all, but sharing it with somebody else is something that they still can do, and something that they could do collectively with others. So make sure that they are using it and enhancing on their hobbies. Busy the brain, like I said to you, that's number 4, is keeping them not only physically active, is keeping them mentally active. You know, games, puzzles, it's stimulating the brain constantly. As we always say, we think, you know, by not walking, if you don't use it, you lose it. Same thing here. Keep them active, reading books, or again, that's where the day programs are wonderful, and senior living is wonderful because they get to do it with others. But keep them active so their brain is active. Doing a crossword puzzle a day, word search, whatever that may be. Some trivia is a great way to keep this active. Number 5, schedule weekly outings and activities. Great thing to do with mom, dad, or grandma and grandpa. It is, schedule an outing. Maybe it is going to the local farmer's market and actually buying vegetables together. Doing an outing with your loved one, your female loved one, senior loved one, is going out to the beauty parlor. Getting their nails done, their hair done as well too, is something that they could really enjoy. Going to the library, wonderful library programs that they have that is really, really good for them to get involved in. We do it for our children. Why we're not doing it for our senior loved ones? Cooking together, making nutritious meals, and maybe even planning ahead and making feel a bunch of meals together. But it's also swapping recipes. There are so many recipes our senior loved ones have made, and they don't write it down as a recipe, but doing it with them, it's something that you could create your recipe with your mother, and it could go on to generations ahead. There's a lot of community gardens if they're very interested in doing that of gardening. There is a lot of communities that you could do that with at your loved one as well too. So don't exempt not going out and about. Make sure mobility is not an issue, but scheduling these outings, even if it's once a week, it's something for them to look forward to. Number 6, it says consider a pet. thought that's great, except for when it's a puppy that they could, that are very demanding, that they need to be walked often. Unfortunately, they have accidents and all, but some of our senior loved ones love to have a kitty cat that of course goes into a litter box, but it does reduce stress, them sitting on their laps and petting them. It really shows, it's documented that it actually lowers blood pressure too. But it's a great way of a release of anxiety and stress, and it's great social interaction plus physical activity. So just make sure it's a pet that is not overwhelming for your senior loved one that has to take care of it, but also it's something that won't get under their foot and trip them also. So, but considering a pet is a wonderful option. 7, utilize technology. A lot of our elders are afraid of using a lot of the technology. It's a little bit easier today with a lot of the programs. There's Alexa, there's webcams, there is webinars. There's also something that you want to maybe keep an eye on them, so you're watching them as well too. Another great, I can't get up, which is the alert systems, is something. So this way, if they're staying home, they have a sense of security that they are safe. But I know sometimes it's very difficult to have them learn how to use that. But there is ways to keep the brain stimulated with certain programs on TV that you could, have them be engaged with technology, but also that of I have a 99-year-old lady in senior care, senior living, that actually uses an iPad, and she plays bingo on the iPad, and she does a lot of things. 99. So there's really no excuses not to stimulate the brain, that they could do simple things even on an iPad. So again, safety is very important. We do want to make sure that for all of these items that I have suggested, that it's safe, but it keeps them busy, keeps them active, and it's a wonderful, wonderful environment for them to actually enjoy. No further ado, I always lead you to my website, which is www.goldenruleseniorplacement.com. There you will find my bio, how to get in contact with me, testimonials, and various options, what we talk about senior living, resources, and this whole library of all those video talks over the last 7 years that we talk on different topics that you could look through at your leisure as well. I do want to point out what we're doing next week. I changed it up a little bit. Next week, which is March 11th, since the month of March has a lot of observances, we're going to talk about Social Worker Month, Nutrition Month, Brain Injury Month, Save Your Vision Month, Essential Tremors Month, and DVT, Deep Vein Thrombosis Month, and something that is very important for our senior care, and a lot of the great observances of their line of work as well. So we'll talk about that next week. As always, think creatively, get your seniors active, and make sure that they are safe, and having them be stimulated is a wonderful thing. So this way they can enjoy the next day and look forward to the next day. Again, have a wonderful week and have a blessed one, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye now.